Hey, welcome in. Now, when social media banned Donald Trump, a lot of world leaders took notice. And they really didn't like what they were seeing. Because if they could ban Trump, they could ban any of them. And that seems like just a little bit too much power, doesn't it? But the problem that they have outside of the United States is that other countries' governments are far more willing to take action against them. And I wonder how this will affect their attitude as countries start banning Twitter, as Nigeria has done after Twitter deleted a tweet by their president. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? So what happens to Twitter once countries start banning them or making it unprofitable for them in their countries? Because I can guarantee you the greater part of how they look at countries, independent countries, is just as a dollar figure. And how much of the world market are they willing to lose? I think that might be something that we're going to find out. Anyway, here's another case. Twitter loses immunity over user-generated content in India. So this is something that could make it not profitable for them to do business in India. So let's see. This is from Reuters. Twitter no more enjoys liability protection against user-generated content in India as the U.S. microblogging giant has failed to comply with new IT rules, the Indian government said in a court filing. So that means they can be sued by individuals over content that is published on Twitter. And this could be a very sticky problem for them. The statement is the first time Prime Minister Narendra Modi's administration has officially said Twitter has lost its immunity after repeatedly criticizing the company for non-compliance. So you don't think that Modi took notice when they banned Trump? You don't think he thought, maybe these guys are getting a little too powerful? Let's see. India's IT ministry told the High Court in New Delhi that Twitter's non-compliance amounted to a breach of the provisions of the IT Act, causing the U.S. firm to lose its immunity. So what did they want Twitter to do which they didn't do? The filing came in a case filed by a Twitter user who wanted to complain about some allegedly defamatory tweets on the platform and said the company was not complying with the new law that requires appointment of certain new executives. And we all know on Twitter, you can defame as much as you like, as long as it goes in a certain direction. Now, you go in the other direction, you're going to get some pushback, right? You're going to get banned. But if you're doing it in the direction that Twitter likes, you're fine. Let's see. India's new IT rules, which became effective in May, are aimed at regulating content on social media firms and making them more accountable to legal requests for swift removal of posts and sharing details on the originators of messages. Technology Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad has slammed Twitter for deliberately defying the law and said all social media firms must abide by the new rules. So it seems like this is a case of Twitter decided that it's bigger than India and that it doesn't have to listen to their laws because, hey, they're Twitter. And hey, they've all got purple hair and disagreeing with them is violence. So it's just not fair, is it? Now, personally, I like to see free speech. I don't want to see these platforms either working for or against the state. I want them to be neutral platforms everywhere. I want there to be free marketplaces of ideas everywhere, which is what you should have with a neutral platform. But that's not what we see with these platforms. In the United States, they're essentially an arm of the Democratic Party, and they are dedicated to what most people would actually consider to be far-left ideas, and they either promote or ban content accordingly. My thoughts are that they should just be a neutral platform, neither for the state or against the state, allow for a marketplace of ideas, and let the people sort it out. But, apparently that's fascism these days. Being opposed to a merger between state and corporate is apparently far right now. Because that makes total sense, doesn't it? Anyway, so again, I wonder, as these kinds of situations multiply, which they surely will we see a change in the behavior of a company like Twitter? And I am not an expert in Indian law, or even in this case, but it's clear that Twitter has decided to act along its own rules and not the rules of the Indian state. And again, this is going to freak out world leaders. They're not going to like it, and they don't like it already. And, if Twitter's behavior outside of the United States or Canada or England or Australia or pretty much any Western country, if their behavior in other countries is similar and similarly political, then this is going to hurt their bottom line, I think, a lot. And I wonder if it will humble these social media companies to the point where they decide they'd rather just make money than try and rule the world. Anyway, that's all I got to say about that. Please subscribe, like, and share. That really helps me out. If you just like to listen, there's the podcast, Radio Baloney. It's on pretty much every platform. If you look for it, you will find it. Thank you very much. I'll see you next time.